everyone, and welcome to this Video Sans Frontières video. My name is Jay Wakefield, and you join me on this crisp, beautifully bright, sunny February Saturday afternoon in 2016. It's the 13th of February, and now if you are a regular viewer of my channel, you'll know that a couple of videos ago I actually showed you two Dell Optiplex computers. Well, in this video I thought I'd show you another one. Now, this, for those of you who don't know, is the Dell Inspiron 3800. 600 MHz processor, can't mind how much memory is in it, reasonably sized hard drive, ATI graphics, reasonably good Pentium 3 machine, I quite like it. But in my last video of this, I was actually running Windows ME on it. However, I've always kind of felt that Windows ME wasn't necessarily the best fit for this machine. I mean, sure, it ran it okay, and being an Inspiron machine, there's a good chance that this certainly might have came with Windows ME. However, in my last video, you actually saw me install Windows ME to the Compaq Armada 110, which I think is a better fit for that operating system. So I've decided to go back to the operating system which actually originally came with this machine. That operating system would be, of course, Windows 2000 Professional. And the seller of this machine even gave me some installation media. Now, yes, this is Dell branded, but, please don't think that this is a quick restore CD of any kind, because all this is basically a Windows 2000 CD, just like any other, with Service Pack 2 slipstreamed in. And, all it does is, all it really does is install Windows 2000 and nothing more. But we're going to use it anyway, because why not? It's just, just a Windows 2000 CD with Dell written on it, really. So, in order to do that, we'll have to switch the machine on. I mean, that's usually a good place to start. Right, I might have to turn up the brightness a wee bit here as well. Yeah. Okay. So it would seem to me that the So it would seem to me that the brightness really isn't that much in the mood for changing. Well, we'll just have to kind of be patient with it. And I'll have to close this beautiful sunshine out, sadly enough. But yeah, you can actually see it now. So, just to remind ourselves of the specs, it's got a 600 MHz Pentium 3, which will downclock to 500 using Intel Speed Stoop. It's got 256K of level 2 cache, 128 megs of system RAM. Nice. ATI M1 graphics, 8 meg video memory, ESS Maestro 3, a 40 gigabyte hard drive, no floppy drive installed, can soon put pi to that, and in the modular bay there's a DVD-ROM drive. So yeah, let's infrared data port. Let's enable that. Okay. So this battery does hold a charge, and in fact it is currently charging. I will need to reset the date and time. Might be an idea to replace a CMOS battery, but I really don't know how it goes on this, and I really don't fancy taking this machine apart and potentially breaking it, because it's a really nice machine. And if the CMOS battery was under the battery cover, the memory cover, then yeah, that'd be absolutely fine. But alas, it probably isn't. Usually on these earlier... I mean, these Inspiron laptops share the same kind of platform as the Dell Latitude C series, and as such, usually the clock backup battery is to be found somewhere daft, like underneath here, or somewhere under the palm rest, but you've got to take everything out to get to it. It's hell sometimes, just, you know, try to get in there and sort all that out. So, right, so the time is currently 1:20. Unlike the Optiplexes last week, this, well, I say last week, there was some shuffling in my videos. See, I meant to put the... I meant to have the Armada 110 video air on the 13th of February, and then air this video on the 17th. But you know, I got the Optiplexes, so you know they aired on the 13th. The Armada 110 aired on the 17th, and now this is airing today, the 20th of February. But it's the 13th today, as I'm felt. Never mind. But yeah, unlike the Optiplexes, this allows me to set the time in 24 hours, which is good, because I know how to do that. February 13th, 2016, blah blah blah, yeah, there we go. Now, dropped a clanger here maybe, because I think the miniature tripod that I'm using might be right in front of the DVD drive. Nope, managed to move it a wee bit with the minimum of fuss. So what I'm going to do, drop in the Windows 2000 CD. Don't want to save. Right, no, I don't want to start Windows ME. So I've used, I'm gonna use FN and F7 to bring this up to full screen. Might be able to see it. I've been trying to use FN and T. I'm so used to compacts. I have no idea why that would be a thing, but yeah, it is. Anyway, so I've brought up the one-time boot menu, and I'm going to elect to boot this from a CD, DVD, CDRW drive. Press any key to boot from CD, and away we go with the Microsoft Windows 2000. Okay, so I actually was able to, well, I've found the Ethernet card I'm going to use, a 3.0 megahertz. Don't know if Windows 2000 has onboard support for this. It's been a while since I've used one of these on a Windows 2000 machine. Because a lot of my Windows 2000 computers actually have onboard Ethernet. But these Dells didn't necessarily have that, so yeah. Oh well. So obviously the Ethernet card isn't going to do anything in this part of setup, but if it's detected by Windows 2000 setup, I'll be able to actually be able to set up domain access at install time, and I'll show you how to do it in Windows 2000 as well, because it is slightly different from 98, and you know, because it's a 2000 professional client, you know, it fully supports everything that the server does. You know, so obviously it's fully Active Directory aware, and you know, it Well, it will set itself up on a roaming profile, which is quite annoying. Lovely cup of tea there. Thing is, now, I do not believe that this has the quick format option, so I will be right back. Okay, so I seem to have waltzed right past the text phase of setup, but I'm sure you guys have seen Windows 2000 installing itself many times on my channel right now, so I guess it really doesn't matter. I feel like this has actually detected a PCMCIA card. It's made the PCMCIA card noise, and I'm so used to my big tripod now with just being able to, like, you know, swivel it. Oh, that's... And you can see that the Ethernet card now has a light on it, and telling me that it is connected to the network at 100 megabits a second. Well guys, as you might be able to tell from the lighting in the video going from overexposed to underexposed, it's actually quite a bit later on in the day. You know, I had a couple things to take care of, so we're back with this machine, which has been waiting patiently for some sort of interaction. It's quite funny actually. If I left my 2001 custom built at this screen for too long, then, you know, I would get part way through installing some of the stuff and it would restart setup. It would actually reboot the computer and start the GUI portion of setup all over again. Quite annoying. But anyway, this machine, we're about ready to, you know, we're about ready to actually continue now, so let's do that. United Kingdom. Unfortunately, even though Windows 2000 is, you know, still an NT-based operating system, and has a hell of a lot of users, mostly 12-year-olds, it is not going to be, when Scotland becomes an independent country, Microsoft is not going to release a patch to allow Windows 2000 to take advantage of that. Either set it to United Kingdom or Ireland if you want it to. Anyway, so yeah, that's so yep, set the system locale. I'm gonna type in my name, company name, right. So now I'm going to need to type in the product key, which is actually underneath this machine, so please bear with me. Okay, so now I need to type a name for this machine. And my admin password. Okay, so now we need to make sure the date and time is set, Saturday, February the 13th, 2016. Odd seeing 2016 on a Windows 2000 install screen. Jings. Click next. And then what will happen is Windows will go away now and install the network. And this is where we will know if the Ethernet card is picked up. This machine does have a dial-up modem, but no Ethernet. And it seems that we have picked up a network card. So I can either choose to use the typical settings or go ahead and use the custom settings. And we find for device FE574B 3COM10100 LAN PC card fast Ethernet. That's absolutely brilliant. It's been picked up. So that's absolutely fine. You know, I will have it obtain the IP address automatically. You know, that is perfectly fine. I'll click next, and this is where we are going to start thinking about joining the domain. Do you want this computer to be a member of a domain? You may need to obtain this information from your network administrator. No, this computer is not on a network, or it is on a network without a domain. Type of workgroup name in the following box. Yes, make this computer a member of the following domain. Maybe I should ask the network admin. Hey, network admin.
Aye.
Is our network a domain?
Aye, it is if you're on Windows 2000 or lower machines. Why'd you ask?
Well, you see, the thing is, I'm actually wanting to set up this Dell Inspiron 3800 so that I can actually access the domain from it.
Okay, well, let's see, can we even allow you to do that? I don't really know. I mean, it'll probably cost you dearly.
Yeah, whatever. Look, are you going to give me the information or not?
Alright, keep your head on. The right way round.
Look, I don't take mirror selfies as often as a lot of people, even though I have a side parting, you know. I'm not one of these people who's constantly taking mirror selfies and posting them on Facebook to make it look like my hair's on the wrong way round.
Whatever, I didn't ask for your life story, man.
Yeah, well, just think on. Anyway, what is this information?
Aye, well, the domain is Wakefield, and, let's see. Here's your username and password.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so I've asked the network administrator. Oh wait, that was me. So yes, this computer is a member of the following domain. What domain? Wakefield. Now I know Active Directory likes me to put Windows 2000 likes me to put the full domain name wakefield.local, but for some reason that never really seems to work. So I'm just going to put Wakefield, you know, like I would on any legacy machine. Click next. It'll ask me for my username and password. I'll put that in now. And what that is going to do, an invalid domain was specified. Would you like to proceed for that? Well, this is embarrassing. Turn on the bloody domain server, Jay, it would help. Let's try that again. Now this part does tend to take a wee bit. You know, if it works, if the domain server is actually switched on, which it wasn't. Anyway, this is actually done now, so it's actually going to go and do the last parts of Windows 2000 setup. So it's going to finish installing, install the start menu items, register components, whatever they are, save settings, and clean up temporary files used by setup, which is awful nice. But yeah, bloomin' roaming profiles. Yeah, so I'll need to set that up. I'll need to set my profile up to be a local one, which I will do once I'm booted in. But for the time being, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the camera off, and I'm actually going to get some Windows 2000 compatible drivers, I think. But luckily, because I'm connected to the network, I don't need to put them on a flash drive. I just need to copy them to the server, eh? So, I have just downloaded the drivers and copied them over to the server. And while I was doing that, Windows 2000 setup has been advancing quite nicely, and we're now on basically the last part of setup. Removes any temporary files used. Only literally takes about a second or so, if that even. So really it's just kind of waiting for it to finish saving the settings, and then I'll be able to log into Windows 2000 and get on the network. So this is actually starting Windows 2000 now for the first time. I can't remember whether Windows 2000 has support for these ATI drivers or not. Considering these are the ATI Mobility Rage M1 drivers, I'm guessing it does, but we're finding out now, yes it does. Good call by me. Would you take a look at that glorious 256 colours, 640 by 480. I mean, I would say that that's pretty normal, actually. So now we've gone to the network identification wizard. So I will click next, and it wants me to add a user to the computer. Adding a user to the computer grants the user access to all the resources on the computer and to all shared resources on the network. Type your network user account information, or type the account information of another user on your network. Okay, well, I'll add myself. All I need to do is just type my username, which does have a capital J. This is something that you're not allowed to do in Linux, by the way, incidentally enough. And then just type my user domain. And I want to make myself an administrator. And I know that's not the done thing, but I'm doing it anyway. You've successfully completed the network identification wizard. To close this wizard, click finish. Now it's applying the computer settings, and Control-Alt-Delete has been enabled by default. Nice. You can enable it manually. You know, if you're not on a domain, that is entirely possible to do. But I will now log on, and what I can do is I can show the options, and then we can see we've got options on how we want to log in. So we can either just log into this computer or into the domain. Now I need access to things on the domain, so we'll just do that. Now this is going to take some time because it's going to now fetch my roaming profile from the server. And it seems that my hard drive is now chugging away on my desktop as well. I mean, the reason that the hard drive is really noisy is because I actually recently replaced my data drive. I upgraded from a 2 terabyte Western Digital Green drive to a 4 terabyte Toshiba Enterprise drive, you know, which is a server grade drive. And you know, server grade drives do not generally tend to have the noise cancellation and deadening that that desktop hard drives do. So, you know, I now get to listen to my computer sounding like something from the early 90s, which is fine, just as long as it works. Anyway, I'll let this load up. Okay, so it's finally loaded. So I am now going to see what I mean about blooming roaming profiles. Seriously. I am now going to change this to a local profile, and I can do this by right-clicking on my computer, selecting Properties, User Profiles. There's my name. Change type, local profile, and that's it. So let's say I decide I want to do something Larry, like log off and log on again. Anything I do on this machine should now be local. Excellent. However, I still have access to all of my network drives, and that, quite frankly, is something that I'm really quite keen on. So what I'm going to do is, first things first, Windows 2000 Service Pack 4. So I'll be right back once I've got that installed. So that is Windows 2000 updated to Service Pack 4. So let's go ahead and install some drivers. First off the block, the video drivers. And judging by that noise, it's going to be very closely followed by the sound drivers. Now, I'm going to do a very, very dirty thing here, and I'm not going to restart between driver installs. I'm thinking this is the set of drivers we want, the sound and the soft modem, because this machine does have a modem, and it does have ESS Maestro audio. So, I want to install and upgrade the drivers. I've basically got to let it go and do that now. Okay, I'm coming. No, I'm kidding on, that's not for me. Ah, there we go. And it's found something. ActionTech 56K modem. So, yeah, unfortunately, this is a Win modem. Which is absolutely beautiful. I don't think. And, I think the sound should install. I don't know if it has or hasn't, or wants to, or needs a restart, but, oh, there we go. There was a click there, so some sound is installed. Let's install the ActionTech 56K modem drivers. Diagnostics, because why not? So some of the sounds are working, some of them not. Alright, so I've got to do this one manually. So the best way I find to do that is if you're on the web page that came with the drivers, like I'm on the web page for the dual mouse, the dual pointer driver. I'll just kind of, navigate back, and we find the setup file. that might work. So now we've got the Dell Solution Center to install. But everything else is up and running, but yeah. So we're now basically just onto the last few things to install, and then the machine will be fully installed with... Oops, don't want that just yet. Actually might need to install Enter Video Win DVD. And the Dell Suspend utilities, we'll maybe sort that out later. But I think there's one thing that I will sort out. If anything, just so I can plug any dodgy looking icons. Let's install Media Player 9. I will also be installing IE6. But I've decided to go for an all 2000 software build on this machine. So, apart from Windows Media Player 9, which hails from 2002, and IE6 Service Pack 1, which basically hails from the same time. But the system's going to be running Office 2000 and Worksuite 2000. Because I do have quite a lot of machines that are running Worksuite 2001, so, variety is a thing. It's nice to have machines that are running different operating systems and different software configurations and what have you, So, I mean, why not? Oh, and DirectX 9 will be installed on here. Now, I will be playing games on this machine, I can imagine. So, now that you've heard that, I'm guessing some of you will be thinking,
But why did you install Windows 2000 if you're wanting to play games?
Well, there is a good reason for that. Windows 2000, unlike Windows NT, has, it's, see, the thing with Windows 2000 is, when it was being developed, Microsoft were hoping, that it would be the version that would actually finally unify the Windows NT line and the Windows 9X line into one operating system that would be suitable for both home and businesses. And they were hoping to, break into that with Windows codename Neptune. Unfortunately, Neptune never came to be a thing and remained in, and was kind of stopped before it actually even RTM'd. It was a very interesting operating system and a very interesting take on things. But it did kind of lead us to Windows XP. The long and short of that, though, is Windows 2000 does have support for a lot more consumer technologies than something like NT4 did. I mean, you have, for example, plug-and-play support. You have a proper safe mode. You have DirectX support right up until 9.0C, which is pretty much the same as Windows XP, if I'm honest. You've got all of, you've got all of these things that, make Windows 2000 a viable operating system to run on a lot of home machines. And apart from one or two differences, games that aren't compatible with Windows 2000 generally won't be compatible with XP either. But there are some games that do seem to run better on Windows 2000 than they do on Windows 9X. Not necessarily because they came out in the Windows XP era. I mean, I'm talking about things like Theme Park World that were kind of, I believe, pre-XP. But, Theme Park World might have only just been pre-Windows XP. I know that certainly with the ATI graphics, Theme Park World really does not like the Windows 9X ATI graphics drivers. Because I've tried it on both the Compaq Armada E500, the Evo N600C, and I've also tried it on this Dell Inspiron 3800, and it really did not like Windows 9X. It would show kind of silly little artifacts. But on Windows 2000, at least on the Compaqs, it was absolutely fine. And, I'll still need to try it on here as well. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons why, some of my systems have Windows 2000 on them. But obviously, I do like having Windows 9X systems because there's just some games that an NT-based version of Windows will not play nicely with. So that's the base system actually installed. Let's have a look at the Dell Solution Center. Oh wow, how 2000 does that look? It just looks so 2000, like the colors, the design. And I love... this is just a web app, and all it offers is, just kind of links to the website, nothing. I mean... the Dell Support Center, the Dell Solution Center is at least a wee bit more substantial and later versions, of it for later machines. But, all this one does is like, oh, you want to go to Dell's support site. I wonder if that link will actually take you to Dell's proper support site. It looks like it's going to. Is it going to do that? But it's certainly taken me to the American support site. Trying, could if it would. I mean, I'm online, because I'm on the network, but, yeah, I mean, this is not a quick laptop, and vintage laptops really don't do well on today's internet. You know, unless you literally go to a website that is still up. You know, something like the Space Jam website. But what we can do, actually, is, you know, why don't we have a look at the sound card's capabilities, well, specifically at MIDI. Do something that I've not done for a while in these videos. First of all, I want to give this machine a nice wee shutdown sound. Done. Audio. And the MIDI on Windows 2000 is only the Microsoft GS Wavetable synth. But that's okay. What we'll do... Oops. We won't do that. But we will take a look at this. So now I've got Media Player 9 installed. It sounds horrible! Oh, wow. That MIDI implementation, the string sound on that, oh my goodness, that sounded awful. It really did. Kind of put a damper on things. But apart from the really dodgy sounding MIDI, I do like this machine a lot. And, you know, it's going to be a lot of fun to use now that it's on Windows 2000. Yeah. Anyway, I think what I'm going to do now is just wrap up this video. But I'd like to say thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, please feel free to subscribe to Videos on Frontier, to like us on Facebook, and to follow me on Twitter. The URLs will, of course, be following. But until then, thank you for watching, and please join me for the next video. Cheery bye.